Hi, friends. Hello, hello. Good morning, good afternoon, evening. Okay, good. So glad you guys can hear me. Hi, friends. Happy Wednesday. Happy June 4th. Welcome to June, everyone. June. I absolutely love this month. In my own community, my Thrive coaching community, we had a meeting on Monday. We do this every month where we do like a new month, new intentions, drop into clarity and so forth. And we just had the juiciest call. And I'm going to share some of that juice here today. But start thinking about what is up for you and what maybe you want support with. I know last week when we wrapped our coaching Q&A session, our share success call here last Wednesday, there were two questions we did not have time to get to. And so if that was you, one of them was on social media and one of them was on like motivating teams. So if you are here, back here, and you'd like some support or you would like to share around those things, feel free to raise your hand early on right now. Feel free to do it now. And we'll make sure we'll get to your questions. But even if you weren't here last week or you were and you have a question this week or something you want support with, by all means, please feel free to, raise your hand and let's help support you. But as we come into this new month, I invite you at the beginning of every month, the wrapping of a month, beginning of a month is a really great time to pause and to reflect and then to come back to your vision. I like to simply use the phrase visit your vision and the possibilities of what is it I really want to create? What do I want to be intentional about, right? Like that's one of my very, very favorite words of all time, intention. Last month in Chaz's hometown, Newport Beach, I was speaking at a group, was booked to speak out there for a conference called Get Intentional. And I just love, love, love this language of, again, being an intentional creator, showing up for yourself, showing up in a way where for your home, your relationships, your health, your body, your energy, your service, your spirituality, your contribution, your work, your income, what it is that you want to be about is just like, yeah, I am a powerful creator. Would all of you write that for me in your notes somewhere? I am a powerful creator. If you can make a note of that. And then if even if that though for you is like, I relate to that or I don't relate to that, I'd also ask that you write down, I'm an intentional creator. Where you truly want to create or change your life has everything to do with showing up again with that intentionality, where it's like, ooh, I am a powerful creator. I'm an intentional creator. And an intentional creator is a powerful creator. But all of you are super, super powerful, right? We just forget that, don't we? We get lost in the, hustle. We get busy. We get distracted. Life can sometimes just feel like we're playing whack-a-mole, right? Did you ever play the game like at an amusement park, whack-a-mole, where it's just like, hey, the next thing that we're addressing or that we're working on versus coming back to what do I want to create in the month of June? Let me give you some of these questions, these prompts, if you will. What do I want to feel more of this day, this week, this month? Let alone as we move into this season in the next couple of months, right? Summer, we love the summer season. But just asking yourself some of these clarity prompts. And even if we could, let's just practice for today. What do you want to feel more of, create, or be intentional to do the rest of today? Let's just pull it into the next like 12 hours, right? What do you want to feel more of? If you're here live on the chat, I know some of you are catching this recording, but I'd love for you to put that in the chat box. What do you want to feel more of or create just for today? And I love that because sometimes we can see like, oh, down the road or big picture, but it's like in this moment, are you currently in the emotional or energetic frequency, the vibrational state you want to be in for today? Are you in the vibe you want to be feeling? Are you on the frequency you want to be feeling? And if not, what is the frequency? And how do we switch you, right? Moving yourself into that. So I want you to be mindful of that keyword frequency. Is it whether you've had a really good morning, like I just got home from a great Pilates class, slept well, played in an amazing fun charity golf tournament yesterday. I love to play golf. You guys, I'm not that great at it, but I sure love it. But it's like played golf yesterday, had such a fun day. And that just like, oh yeah, slept well, got up, went to Pilates and feel good. And it's like, see, these are some of the things that help put me in that space. But just dropping into again, what do you want to feel more of? Because there are times where I'll wake up and I'm like, I'm not in the best mood, or I didn't sleep great, or I feel stressed, or I feel anxious, or whatever all the feels. I have those moments too, just like you. But let's get clear about and intentional. What do you want to feel more of just for today? What do you want to feel? What's the feeling, right? Get clear. What's the feeling or the vibration, right? And you say alignment and desire. I love that, Ash. Okay. So, but underneath that, what's the feeling? Sometimes I can feel like there's a energy to alignment, but your clear feeling. Then the next one of you says stress free. So on the opposite of stress free, let's drop the word stress. Let's just say free. Who wants to feel more free today? Emotionally free, energetically free. Like there's just this freedom, right? Maybe even just do what my body naturally wanted to do, which is like shake it off, right? Shake it off your shoulders. Freedom. Drop the word stress. You want more freedom, or you might say the word peace. For me, words that help me have more freedom or peace is that I'm more nourished in trust. How well nourished is your trust? Are you trusting today? Are you trusting God? Are you trusting the universe? Trusting life? Trusting yourself? And if not, take a few deep breaths and maybe just get anchored in some of these core affirmations. God or universe has my back. Life is working in my favor. Mm, yeah. How do you want to go through this day? I don't know what's going to come in your day, but making a mental decision and a vision of how do I want to go through this day? How do I want to show up in my home with my children, online? How do I want to feel in my own body? And what helps me get there? But just dwelling upon it. Like right now, I want all of you in your mind's eye to see a bright, vibrant red apple. And we're not going to play Snow White, right? But just a vibrant, bright red apple. Can you see it in your mind? And now I want you to see a banana. See a banana in your mind. And now I want you to see an orange. I want you to see a lemon. You want to drop into a deeper visualization with me for just a moment. In your mind's eye, go into your kitchen. If you're not driving, close your eyes and see yourself go into your kitchen space and grab a lemon. And it might be in the refrigerator. It might be in a fruit, like basket or something, however, where your lemon might be. Pull out a cutting board, sharp knife, and cut that lemon into 4 quadrants. See it in your mind. Cut it in a half and cutting it again, horizontally, vertically. And now take one of those 4 quadrants off your cutting board and see yourself just pull it up and put it right in your mouth and bite down on it. Take a deep breath, receive that lemon. Whew. Okay, you now pull that out of your mouth. Go ahead and open your eyes if they weren't already. I'm just curious, did any of you have a physical reaction to putting that imagery in your mind? Just curious, did any of you feel your mouth salivate? Even though I knew where I was going to lead you, my body still had a reaction. Yeah, many of you saying yes and a watery mouth. My mouth's watering. Yes. How powerful is that? Was there an actual lemon in your mouth? Mm-mm. Friends, that's just a reminder of how powerful your brain is and how quickly we can change the frequency by just choosing to change our thoughts and what you're putting your attention on. And so I love to bring intention with attention, is put attention on your intentions. It's like, let's focus on what do I want to give more life force, more energy to, or attention, your intention. So no matter what you're feeling today, coming into this session, you can change it if you want to. right? We can work at that at least in moving the needle, just like your brain. There was no physical lemon in your mouth. And many of you had a physiological response. Your glands and your started salivating, and it was like, ooh, the puckering feeling just by dropping into that what? Visualization. So take a moment for me and take a deep breath. Again, if you want to shake it off, get comfortable. Take a deep breath. Find yourself within, again, your body and your solar plexus. And if you want to, go ahead, let's close your eyes and just see yourself as if, right, the energy you want to feel today, the radiance, the vibrance, the groundedness, the calm, the peace. See yourself smiling. Take a deep breath. Just release that. I am a powerful creator. I'm going to create joy and beauty and brightness this day. I'm going to choose to show up, to serve, and to love. I'm going to have patience with myself and with others. I'm going to be open to the many miracles that are placed strategically throughout my day. I'm going to lean into love and opportunities to serve, to grow. All right, friends, just breathe that in. I just invite you, though, that the power again is what do you want to create for June? And just like the lemon, I love lemons, but it's like seeing what the lemon could represent in your life. How many enrollments this month, this week, that you want to see happen in your doTERRA business? Your health and wellness habits, seeing yourself walking or hiking or at Pilates with me, right? You want to be on the reformer next to me. And I do a combination of mat Pilates at home off an app that I really love, a gal named Melissa Wood Tepperberg. She has an app called Melissa Wood Health, which I have been on for a couple of months. Really love that at home. What I love about that is like if I only have 10 minutes or 20 minutes, or don't have the time or capacity, right, to do more or get to the studio. It's like, I love doing that at home as well. But for whatever your thing might be, you might love to go running or go to a workout class, lift weights. You might see yourself walking with your weighted vest. I'm a big fan of those these days too, right? Not always a big fan in the moment because you're like, wow, I'm huffing and puffing wearing this weighted vest. But just seeing yourself healthy, what brings you more joy? One of the things I asked of my Thrive community, my coaching community on Monday, was to ask them to create a summer joy list. Summer joy list is like, oh, what are the things? Some cost money, some don't, but like the things that light you up and bring you joy, right? Like I mentioned, I like to play some golf. I don't want to golf every day, but I want to be out ideally at least once a week, maybe twice. I want to be on more trails in the mountains. I like to have some gelato, right? I mean, I like gelato all year round, but it's like feels so yummy and summery, right? I love to read a good summer novel. I love to be in my garden in the backyard. So it's just for yourself is what do you want to create in the month of June? Personally, your health and wellness, your relationships, your home. What's the energy and frequency of your home? What do you want it to be? What's the energy and frequency of your health and your wellness and your self-care? What do you want it to be? What's the health and wellness and energy and frequency of relationships? And what do you want them to be? And health and wellness of your business with doTERRA and your other, some of you, I know you're working on multiple things at once, but like what's the vibrancy, the frequency that you want to create in your business this month? How many people's lives do you want to help influence for the positive, right? How many people do you want to touch, connect? You guys have seriously some of the very best products on the whole, excuse me, on the whole planet. How you want to show up for that. Karina, the girl's name is Melissa Wood Health, is the name of her app. She's on social media as Melissa Wood Tepperberg. She's this cute little zesty New Yorker. I do not know how she got on my radar or in my world a couple of months ago, but I've really enjoyed those classes with her, again, at home. I also have a Peloton app, which I really like to utilize classes off that too. I've enjoyed that as well. But whatever works for you, again, is just being mindful of like how we show up for our own body. I'm a big believer when we talk about frequency vibration and energy, is movement is a way that absolutely can shift your mood, can shift your energy, can help you have clarity, downloads. Like, how many of you have had some really good downloads come to you when you're on a walk, right? Or you've just had a good workout, or you just feel that shift? Because sometimes when we're feeling stuck emotionally or energetically, right? I love to come to my essential emotions guide, right? That the Goddards are and their team have been such huge proponents of and creators of. It's like, oh, I like to use the products and I like to go into prayer and meditation and for me to connect with God and get deeply connected to the light and like, okay, what is this? Nourishing that. And then I also like to move my physical body because it's like water. Water is neutral. Water can be extremely powerful, can be life-giving clearly. It can also be, if it's too stagnant, it can become heavy with bacteria and become even lethal. And sometimes when we're too stagnant in our bodies and how much of our bodies are water, right? It's like to put yourself in movement of some kind. And again, whether you do a 10-minute video off of her app, which 20 minutes, 10, 20 minutes, you get out on a walk, you go to a class, like just renewing your commitment to some of these things, but thinking about maybe with a little summer flair, friends, the summer touch. Yeah, the powerful piece of that for yourself. And so as we just come into a new month, is what do you want to create this month, this week, but even today? Being mindful of that you can shape your day today. Come home to being a powerful creator and just practicing just for today. It's like, oh, I can be an intentional creator throughout the day today. The meeting I'm going to go to next after this, or when I pick my kids up, or I drop them off, or we have this thing, or I'm going to do this with a client, or I'm going to proactively reach out and nourish my relationships, like Cindy's talking about. Yes, your relationship renewal or business renewal is how you choose to show up, nourishing those relationships, how you choose to show up in your home, kids, significant others, your neighbors, everyone, you name it, right? But just it's the power of intention to put attention, energy, attention, just like the lemon, how powerful within a matter of seconds, we literally shifted your body. And imagine it's like the power of your thoughts. What are the thoughts? Just like the thoughts, like when you choose to put on an outfit or clothing, become more mindful, like what are the thoughts, the intentions I'm choosing to put on and into my life, and I want to give them attention. So anyway, I'm so excited to be here with you today. Welcome to a new month. The Goddards send their love. They are traveling. They're over in Bali and having a beautiful time, and I'm excited to spend this time with you today as we welcome a new month. And then let's drop into some coaching questions. And I think there was a question. Let's see. I just saw your name, Laura Ann. Didn't you have a question about lead gens and social media? Yeah, she has her hand up. Can you come on camera, Laura Ann? Are you able to do that? If so, we'll have Janelle promote you up to a panelist if we can do that. Awesome. Can you promote Laura Ann to a panelist for me, love?
Hey,
Hi.
good
If you
morning,
would,
Tiffany.
good morning. Hi. If you would just share where you're from and then your question, what's up for you, that'd be great.
Yes, I'm from Switzerland. So for me, it's the end of the day.
Yeah.
Um, and it's raining currently. But thank you for the meeting and for your inspiration. It's really precious to have it. My,
Mm.
my question was about lead generation and social media. So I don't know, based on your expertise and your insight, what you would suggest um, to communicate on social media, because when we were at the convention in Europe, one of the presenter asked ourselves to go on our Instagram page and to see what it is and ask ourselves, if we see something like that, would we follow ourselves? And the
Mm.
question was really powerful, and the answer for me was no, I would not follow myself, because I think I don't. I think I have some resistance to really share my message. So I was curious, what would you suggest to communicate? Because when I see some people in doTERRA that are really product and sales oriented, I don't want it to feel like that. So yeah, I would really appreciate your insight on that.
Hmm. Well, first of all, it's so nice to meet you and thank you for joining us. It's beautiful in Switzerland. And yes, now I'm thinking about like European chocolate.
Oh, it's delicious.
So much better. But yes, that's a great question for all of you to consider. Now, here's just I want to set the standard on a few things or remind us of a few things about social media. Number one, I want you to all of you write for me in your notes, my self-worth is not online. And we are going to talk marketing and strategy because I've grown a lot of business off of social media. So it's a very powerful tool, can be, but I think it's really healthy to remind ourselves my self-worth does not live online. It's like, how many likes do you get? How many likes are enough? And I remember seeing a meme, I've shared it a few times, a quote several times that says, a million likes will never be enough if I don't like myself. Because sometimes I'm just clarifying this because we are going to talk marketing and strategy. But some of you, when you feel, how many of you, I'm just curious that are here live, would you use the chat box? How many of you get stressed about social media? How many of you feel like you overthink social media? Can I share this? Shouldn't share this? Oh my gosh, I'm doing it wrong. I'm not doing it good enough. People aren't engaged. I'm not how many of you, I'm just curious, can feel stressed about social media? No, it won't be all of you, but definitely most of you at some level can feel that pressure, right? This like, oh, I got to get this figured out, or I've got to do it right, or what the case might be. So I'm just inviting you to consider thinking about that. Like, okay, just being clear, like, what if I just saw social media as an opportunity to serve? It's just a service platform. You could take that mindset. I'm just showing up to serve, to add value, to educate, to connect, to be a bright light in the midst of how much stuff is out there. Is I'm going to be my own little lighthouse. Laura Ann, you're a lighthouse with who you are and what you get to represent. Now, I do love that question because it's a good reflection question of would I follow myself? Would I feel inspired? Would I also, the question I want you to be clear about is, would I feel clear about who this person is and what they do pretty quickly? Would I be able to like identify quickly? Is this not just, oh, is this inspiring, but who they are and what they're up to? Is there clarity that's there? Clarity in the bio and clarity in the posts and the things that you're sharing, right? So the power of it is, what if I just want us, the most important thing is one, we're clear our self-worth is not online. How many likes I have or followers I have has nothing to do with my worth. Therefore, I can choose to see these platforms as a form of joy, education, and connection. But connection is your number one goal to grow a business, online or offline. Connection equals clients every single time. It's, am I creating connection? And therefore, you might have contact. Can I bring up, let me see. Let me make sure I have, I think I do. Yeah, I do. One second. I just want to bring up something out of one of my business workbook. Give me 1 second to do that. Okay, thank you, Zoom. Let me show you something out of, I have a course on my website, y'all, called Success Academy. I used to run this as a live coaching cohort. It's a 8 module session, 8 weeks. It's now on my website that you can purchase in the shop if you're interested. But it's a very robust, rich resource for both personal growth, but business, where we look at your branding, we look at your sales, your marketing funnels. Let's see. Well, that's time management. 1 second. That's branding. Here we go. Okay. With some social media, it's just being aware. I really like some of these guidelines. We'll come back to that, but this is what I wanted to share with you image-wise. And any of you can take a photo of this or draw this graph in your notes. But again, connection equals growth. And when you think about this, that it's like, okay, I need to connect with more people to create more growth in my business. And the bottom right of that triangle is contacting, traditional, like I'm emailing, I'm texting, I'm reaching out, I'm inviting people, I'm hosting a class, I'm sending out messages, I'm nourishing my network, I'm contacting. None of you have to do social media to grow your business. I'm just saying it's a huge opportunity to do so to reach more people. And so you can double down on contacting where you're like, I'm really reaching out. I'm going to BNI or networking groups. I'm messaging folks. I'm, really nourishing those relationships to increase my connection. But on the left-hand side where it says content, that's where social media would fall. And you might have a newsletter list. You might have a website. You might have a podcast. You might have a YouTube channel. You might, under social media, have an X account, a Threads account, an Instagram, a TikTok, a Facebook, a LinkedIn. There's all these platforms. The gift that I love about social media is it's free. You guys, it's free. So why wouldn't we use it to help you grow your business, right? And let me just come back, as I mentioned I would, and share this image with you as well, is just realizing, and the quote that's at the top there by Ali Brown, she said this many, many moons ago, and you could insert any, it says Facebook, but you could say TikTok or Instagram, is like the largest trade show on the planet, and you've been given a free booth. But I do love this posting formula by Mari Smith. I heard her share this in 2009 in a ballroom in San Diego attending an event. And at the time, there was no Instagram, there was no TikTok, there was no LinkedIn, there was Facebook and Twitter, and that was about it at the moment. But she was talking about how when we're posting what we should be sharing, 80% of your posts and tweets need to be some form of value add focused. Quotes, tips, diffusing blends, positive quotes, insights, things around wellness, maybe your favorite smoothie recipe, right? These types of things. But like the majority of our content is a value add focused. 10% share so they get to know more you, like some of the things that's, unique to Laura Ann and what's up for you. And then 10% can be marketing or promotion, where you're sharing, BOGOs, or you're sharing a class you're hosting, or your favorite benefits of lavender essential oil or things like this and why they should do that. But again, I do love the quote here or the comment at the bottom that says, see social media as a real relationship and you're showing up to add value. And so when we treat it that way, right, it can create for us this opportunity where it's like, hey, I'm showing up to add value and to create connections. But remember, connection is what's going to create the growth. So putting the content out there is one thing. And we might say this across any social media is that content is king and engagement is queen. What you care about, the real number to pay attention to on social media is engagement. People liking, commenting, sharing, saving, but engaging on your posts or engaging in the DMs, which I'll share that with you in just a moment. But one thing I do with my private coaching clients when they come for a VIP day, we come and we map out their whole platform. We map out their core messaging, their branding. But one of the things we do specifically with their messaging and with social media is we've come up with what I call the core four, your core four content pillars. Is what are the core four, just like, four pillars holding up a space. It's like, because some of you might say, well, I have multiple interests or various things. And it's like, yes, I love that. If you go to my Instagram, you'll see there's themes there on a regular basis, right? You're going to see themes around mindset is one of my content pillars. One of my content pillars, absolutely, you're going to see is around vision, just like we were doing some of that today, is visiting your vision. One of my content pillars you're going to see is around self-care and wellness and the potency of that. And another, my core other one you're going to see is around sales and how do we grow a business? How do we close more sales? How do we be more comfortable? But that way in your world, like being in doTERRA is if I'm you personally, building out a doTERRA business, I don't want my whole page to just be doTERRA, doTERRA, doTERRA. No. Write this for me in your notes. We want to sell the destination, not the airplane. Every one of you write that down for me. Sell the destination, not the airplane. doTERRA is an airplane. Coaching is technically an airplane. You'll rarely see me actually promote coaching, even though that's what I get booked to do and hired to do and paid to do, is coaching's the airplane. You're going to see me talk more so about outcomes and results and lifestyle. I want to have more free time. I want a laptop lifestyle where I can work from wherever I want to be in the world. I want to create more of that financial freedom. You're going to see me share that. Well, that's the coaching I help people create, is more freedom in their lives through their sales funnel and their business and so forth. You might hear me use the word coaching on occasion, and we're never, it's not that we're not going to ever share the word doTERRA. Absolutely. But just realizing that doTERRA, what does doTERRA help people have in their lives? They're healthier, they're happier, they're have more tools, a healer in every home. I love that phrase, right? And it's just, oh, I have these tools to be healthier physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, financially, that I'm helping myself be the healthiest, and happiest version of myself. There's your branding for every one of you. Is your role in the world and your role in your business is to help others be the healthiest and happiest versions of themselves. And you, as a resource, as a wellness advocate, could you have a better name? No. You're in the advocacy of wellness. You're a wellness advocate. You're helping people be healthier and happier. Is doTERRA the only tool in the toolbox? Of course not. But it's a biggie and it's an important one. And we do want to share that. So that's going to be one of your content of, say, 4 content pillars, is we're going to share about the oils and the actual products and the transformation. But remember, folks, people are looking for transformation, not just buying products. Does this make sense? So
Yes.
it's being mindful that doTERRA is one of your content pillars. Another one of your content pillars, I would say, also could be mindset or overall wellness or movement, right? Is the energy of like, oh, or happiness and joy and inspiration. And so if I'm you, I'm going to have an inspirational quote as one of my core 4 of some kind of inspiring like content of being a powerful creator or a vision or whatnot. I'm going to have that going on every single week. And it doesn't even have to be your quote, Laura Ann. You can create your own quotes in Canva, Word Swag. Those are apps I've used and still use, where if I want to create one that's got my own name on it, that's got your name branded to it, fine, that's great. But there's plenty of times I use Pinterest as a massive opportunity and search engine where I've gotten so many ideas and so many quotes that I've just then shared either on my posts or in my stories. And I share a lot more stories than I will ever share of posts, right? And that personal aspect to it. So these are just some things to initially be thinking about, you guys, is what you need to grow a business is connection. You got to be contacting and connecting. Social media is a great opportunity to be sharing content out of joy, out of service, out of opportunity of like, I want to add value on these platforms. Then as people start engaging and commenting, make sure you engage back. One of my favorite things, though, that I love to utilize social media for is the DMs. So many sales and magic happen for me in my business in the DMs. So even though if I'm putting out the content, people engage there, but it's like they might comment off a story or they might this, or I might, absolutely all of you, proactively go comment on other people's stuff. You start following people who are posting about wellness and lifestyle, and they care about, health and wellness and things like that. These are your people. You guys, this is your time. Especially here in the United States, we watched an entire revolution is at foot around health and wellness. And there's multiple accounts dedicated to this. We're seeing legislation change around demanding higher requirements for food and for additives and things like that. And however you feel about it politically, I remember seeing like a year ago, so well before the election, or maybe not quite a year ago, but probably about 8, 9 months ago, that there's a lot of people that believe this. Now, again, however y'all feel about this, and I was watching this from a while, is that RFK, who is a long-term Democrat, Robert Kennedy Jr., right? Long-term Democrat, which is ironic. He got elected on a Republican ticket. But the irony, what he was about, and what so many people in his world was, we care about health and wellness. And he reached out to both candidates to have meetings. One, one side didn't respond, the side that did got elected. But it was like there was this whole conversation that whoever RFK supports is going to be able to push the election on a global scale. Now, again, that's just there's all kind of research and whatnot. There's emotions around this conversation. I get that. But what's at bigger play at large is whether you like the characters and the candidates or not, is people are like, we want healthier lives. Now, that's not just in the United States. That's where you're at in Switzerland, Europe, all over the world. People are saying we want to be healthier. So, however you guys feel about some of those things politically, what I'm telling you is this is your time, you guys. Like you couldn't have primed a better environment where people are asking for, wanting, and now even demanding, like, we want healthier lives. And you're catalysts, you're wellness advocates, you guys, that can help you create that. So back to social media is again like you go to go follow all of these accounts, right? Like, or even some of these big accounts, like I started following, these different health and wellness practitioners and food, these people that are out were, making these big waves in health and wellness. They aren't making big waves politically. It got political, but the reality is they were making big waves in this stuff. I'd be following them and then noticing who's commenting in their comments. And then I'd start interacting and create. You guys, like the pool is primed. And you can go out and share that where it's like, that beauty and that opportunity where it's like you have so many people that you can start nourishing more so one-on-one. Because remember, what you're after is connection. And so commenting on people's, content that are in the genre of health and wellness, but they may not already be using essential oils, or they may not be using the best essential oils, and how important that is. And also, as well as the supplements and things that you have to offer. So we could literally do a 3-hour training on social media. I want to be mindful of that. I do want to address this question or this comment. And I do love, yes, yes, yes. Jennifer says, this is excellent. I didn't even ask my question, and this is getting me on the frequency I was looking for. I love it, right? It's like how powerful this is. So think about again, it's like, hey, am I showing up to offer this value? Am I keeping my self-worth in check? I'm offering this value. I'm clear on my core 4, my content pillars. So therefore, it's much easier to just rinse and repeat content because I don't have to figure it out. I just know these are the lanes and things I'm sharing, how powerful that is. But Shelly says this, what if I don't want to be vulnerable on social media? Then don't be. And you don't have, I mean, vulnerable, you don't have to do social at all, Shelly, but it is a huge opportunity to be there. But I will tell you what people are craving more than perfect. Like if you've ever felt the pressure, I've got to put out a perfect post or perfect pages, people are craving authenticity or realness more than they crave perfection. They want, because again, like can't connect to that in the connection piece of that. But I'd get curious about your vulnerability and I'd get curious about your statement. Because when you're really solid in yourself, you can be vulnerable. Now, that doesn't mean when we use the word vulnerable, that's a big word. That doesn't mean am I going to have to share my every woe or challenge or cry on camera? Absolutely not. It doesn't mean that. But you could share, like, hey, here's why this matters to me, health and wellness. And wellness matters to me. I really care about, I was struggling with this in my own health, and this product helped me change that or transform that, or these changes or these things is I will tell you again, I like vulnerability. A good friend of mine and I were having this conversation on Sunday night that Brene Brown would say, because she's done so much work in vulnerability and so much work about sharing and daring greatly and all these beautiful things. But she talks about sharing from a scar, not necessarily from an open wound. And you can share some of those lessons if you choose to. You do not have to share anything that's super intimate about your life or intimate details. But it was like years ago when I got divorced and I shared about that publicly. I didn't share any intimate details, but I shared about the heartache and the fear and the courage and the changes and the things. I shared about the core lessons, not necessarily here's the intimate details of what went down in my marriage, right? And there's some things I've been going through this year that I'm not sharing online that have been, stretching and challenging, but there's a place to share from, again, as Brene Brown would say, share from the scar, not the open wound. And sharing from a place of, again, it's like, and you don't have to share anything that's super personal. Just know and realize that what people are wanting is relatability. Yeah. So it's powerful, but you can do whatever it is for yourself that, is resonant for you. Sometimes, again, that's an interesting thing that comes up for you. We're talking about social media, and you're like, oh, I don't want to be vulnerable. It's like, oh, beautiful. Get curious about that. Because what we're talking about is simply showing up and being a lighthouse that you are Laura Ann, or that you are Shelley, or that you are Barbara, or that you are Ashley, or Jennifer, or Chaz, or Cindy, or Karina. Is like, I have light to share and wisdom and insights, and I want to be a powerful lighthouse online. I want to be sharing these insights and these gems because I've learned a lot of things that have helped me be healthier and happier. And I want to help more people be healthier and happier too. So, Laura Ann, I want to check back in with you though, since this is your original question. Anything else I can clarify for you or add for you or share for you, or how your thoughts about this?
First is thank you. It's really, really helpful. And I think I need to deep dive on the four core pillars for myself. But I think it will need a little bit more time to be sure what those pillars will look like.
Mm-hmm. I love it. And can we also, here's an assignment for you, Laura Ann, and anyone else if you want to take it on, is go to Pinterest if you, and again, it's free, sign up an account, and you can have public boards on Pinterest or private ones. I have several private ones that only I can see. But maybe create a mood board around overall. I would invite someone to do this with their branding overall. What's the mood or vibration, frequency, the idea that I want my brand and my business to represent? And that would include social media. And just create a mood board. People create mood boards as they're getting ready to design a home or remodel a home, or, it's like, oh, what's the mood board? What's the vibration? Like I have a private one around my branding, my own branding, that I've been adding to and thinking about and working on, like, okay, as I'm shifting into some up-leveled, more aligned. I love the word alignment. I know some of you used that earlier, but the aligned branding is create a mood board. It's like a little mini mood board or vision board, but what's the vibration or vibrate? You can call it whatever you want, but that it helps you see, oh, I love that image and that health or that vibration of this, or healthy foods, or that woman working out, or this thing, or this hike. And this is kind of the vibe I want to be about. That also gives us clarity, right? That's a really good assignment for any one of you for your branding and your social media, as well as it's also a fun assignment too. It's like, ooh, it's just like if you came into a blank room and it's like, I got to pick the paint colors and design or what this is going to look like. That will help you with, again, your own, branding, and then what you want to share on social media. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you very much. That's going to be fun. And for the core pillars, the four core pillars, do you think that business could be one of the team?
Yeah, in terms of like growing a business in doTERRA.
Yeah, or business in general, but to attract
Yeah.
as well wellness advocates. And we are all
Yes.
entrepreneurs, so
Yeah. And just the entrepreneurial spirit, how I would put a flavor to that though, is I would have it be more about the lifestyle. And again, when we think about great sales and marketing, is you want to sell to outcomes. Like I said, sell the destination, not the airplane, is the freedom that comes, the opportunity. I can be at my kids' basketball game in the middle of the day. I can, work from, Lake Como, Italy on my laptop at any time. It's like I have the freedom as well, that kind of empowerment And I would label it instead of just like, hey, grow a business with us. That's going to be the outcome. But it's more so of be your own boss, be empowered, live the lifestyle that comes when you are self-employed and you have more freedom of choice. Now, it doesn't mean, of course, as we all know, like, hey, we got to work and there's things that are there for sure. But it's just more we're sharing into vision of possibility. Has
Thank
this
you
been
so
valuable?
much.
If you are here live, would you comment in the chat box? Has this been valuable? Because today we're down definitely more of a business strategy theme. We're in business around, okay, what's my, content and what's my brand and what's my vibe? What's my content? Again, I came up with your four content pillars, the core four a while back, which was just identifying, okay, these are some core things that I'm about and that I want to share with that. Barbara saying, could you briefly restate my core four pillars? Is that what you're asking? Okay, good. Many of you saying yes, thank you. Very valuable for you today. I love that. So I just think it's helpful to think about social. Again, I always like to neutralize my self-worth does not live online, because we can really get tangled in that. I know I have at times as well. It's like, oh, and here's the irony is at some level too, I'm going to say don't overthink it, because sometimes the reel or the post I work on for a while and it's like, oh, this is so gorgeous. It's going to be so perfect. You put out that one and it's like, that's okay. And sometimes the ones you just think it and move with it and rip it, it just goes, does really well. So it's just interesting that sometimes when we try to overthink or over plan, or is it perfect, perfect, perfect? Remember what people are wanting even more so is give me the real. I want to feel your heartbeat. I don't want just an AI written post. I want to feel your heartbeat, your passion, your purpose, your drive, your desire, your humor, your wit, your whatnot. So yes. Good job. Cindy did. Yes. Cindy did write those down. So mindset, my core four, mindset, vision, self-care, and sales. Yeah, so it's good. These are good things to be thinking about, right? And the potency of, okay, that helps me and can help you. Some of my coaching clients, I have a client in Chicago. We were talking about this thing on Friday for him and his platform. He's growing. Same thing is like you can even take a theme and have, like, say, one of your core four be like the first week of every month. And then the second week of every month is the next one. And then the third week of the month is the next one. And the fourth week. And that way you can just rinse and rinse and repeat content. Because where a lot of times we get stuck with content is it's like, oh, I got to find or figure out something new versus I can just rinse and repeat my content. I don't have to always try to figure it all out. Good stuff. I love it. Love it. Love it. Okay. Lauren, thank you so much. So good to see you.
Thank
Thanks
you
for
so much,
joining.
Tiffany.
You're
Have a great
welcome.
day.
One. Yes. So good to see you. Okay. Can we promote up to panelist Dreams of Jeannie? You say it Jeannie or Jean? We'll promote her up. And then if you'll share your question, introduce yourself first, tell us where you're from, and then that would be great. And I think we're just in transition on the tech side of that. Okay. Janelle, is she being promoted to a panelist?
Yes.
Do you need help with that, sweetheart? Janelle, can you hear me?
Yeah, she's promoted already.
Oh, okay. Thank you. All right, Jeannie, do you want to unmute yourself and come on camera and share what your question is?
Yay, I'm here, I think.
Okay, there we go. Do we say your name Jeannie,
Yeah.
just so I'm saying it right?
Yes, it's Jeannie, like in a bottle.
Okay, perfect. There we go. Hi, love. Where are you joining us from? What part of the world are you in?
I am in Wisconsin. And
Okay.
I'm driving right now, but you are coming through my speakers, so I can pay attention to where I'm going.
Okay, do you want to share your question? I think it was from last week and it may be the same and it may be different, but how can I best support you
Yes,
today? Like kind of up for you.
yes, it was from last week. I've got some people on my team that had expressed, that they really wanted to look more into the opportunity. They really wanted to create an income with doTERRA, but then it almost seems like when it comes right down to taking any action, it doesn't happen. And I'm just kind of lost at how to inspire, how to help people see the value, because I think it's just not seeing the value in it. So then you don't want to put time towards it because you don't see that it's a value. And I
Mhm.
don't know how to do that
Hmm.
better.
Well, I love this question because how many of you can relate to this is like, oh, I have people who have expressed an interest and maybe really at one point a gung-ho interest and then maybe not and they fall off or they're not as interested or they're not seeing the value or all the things, right? We can totally relate to this. And I would say, just at an initial thing, is what we want to develop in your skill set, your leadership skill set, is to ask good questions. And just to become really like that's the skill is we don't have to, because sometimes we're like, how do I show someone the value? How do I convince someone of the value? Well, how we help enroll people in anything, enroll them into the products, enroll them into the business, enroll them into anything. It's like, how do we help create enrollment or engagement? At the heartbeat will be really good questions, is understanding them and asking them questions, where they're at, what they want. And specific to doTERRA, what do you want to create here? If you could, in your world, wave the magic wand, so to speak, what's the outcome you would want to see happen? What are the skills that you need to develop? What's getting in your way of moving forward on that desire? What's getting in your way of building the business? And when I'm asking that question, now I'm going to try to put like 20 years of work into like a few minutes. So have a little patience with me, but because this is a
Okay.
mastery I've been studying for a long time. If you don't have my sales mastery kit, you can find that also on my website, or it's included in the Success Academy teaching as well. But either of those courses, again, my website's tiffanyspeaks.com, but this is mastery level work of what we're talking about doing is if I ask someone like the question I just modeled for you is what's getting in your way of building your doTERRA business? And they're going to say one thing. And I'm going to say, great, what else? Okay, thank you for sharing that. What else? What else? What else? What else? So we want to go deeper because sometimes the first problem someone brings to us or challenge or excuse might not be the actual real thing. It might be part of it, but I just want to go deeper and deeper and deeper and helping people realize. But as we know, what gets in anyone's way of building a business is it's a combination of things, right? Like our mindset and our beliefs and our self-worth work, all the inner work. When we decide to build a business with doTERRA, we're also committing to a massive personal development journey, aren't we? We are.
Yeah.
And then also it's like, well, what about marketing and sales and hosting classes? And wait, I've got to overcome my fears of, talking to people and reaching out and what are they going to think? And, if I'm going to host a class or a webinar. And then what we were just talking about with Laura Ann, a lot of people, it's like, oh, and then I need marketing and maybe I'm going to use social media. And there's just a lot of points where people could potentially get overwhelmed. But at the core is what's usually up for people is somewhere around their belief, their mindset, their fears. Because we know it works. We've seen so many people work. I mean, doTERRA has been is a billion dollar business. There's obviously a lot of people who've been figuring it out and doing it. It's just a lot of times people oh, well, I don't know if I have what it takes or I have these things. And for some people, it's just not a fit. And that's okay too. Like they're called to something else or their heart is like, ooh, I like this, but it's going to require commitment, right? It's like going from, oh, I'm dating this prospect to I'm marrying them, there's a big bridge to cross there. And so the point is though, how do I help you help them? is you asking these questions is I'd love to connect. And you're like, well, how do I get into that deep conversation? If I'm you, I'd say, I just love to connect as we move into a new season. I'd love to schedule some time. Here's my calendar link. Let's pick a time and let's get connected. Or you hosting more things at your home or online where you're gathering people and they're feeling connected, feeling nourished, you're doing these things, but the opportunity to move into conversation and asking those questions of what is it you want? What's getting in your way of having what you want? Great. What else? What else? What else? What else? What would it look like for you if you had those kinds of tools and support to help you create more self-confidence in yourself and in marketing? What would that look like for you if you had more freedom? If you could retire yourself or your spouse? If you could create that, what would that look like and feel like to you? And so you're doing what I'm just modeling for you is I teach a specific process in my course called the 5 gates of closing sales. And there's 5 gates you go deep on when you're having these consultative or diagnostic conversations. But ultimately, it's not like, gosh, how do I just motivate people or inspire them? It's like, if you really want to influence anyone, you've got to ask them.
Okay.
Asking them more questions about where they are, what they want, where they're stuck, how long has it been an issue, what's at play for them, and helping them see, and to just know like it's absolutely possible, and they will have the opportunity to work on some things and grow and develop some skills. Right? And so it's not just
Okay.
one thing. I could only pick one out of because of course, it's like them having the vision and them feeling like they're part of something bigger than themselves and the possibility and so forth. And we're all, all humans currently are like so overwhelmed and distracted. There's a lot that they're navigating that we all are, but it's bringing them back to what do they want? Why does that matter? What their desires are, what's getting in the way, how long that's been an issue. But everything I'm modeling for you, again, is in that sales mastery course where you can listen to it on repeat and hear yourself become masterful at it, or you hear it over and over so it becomes second nature. Because as I'm teaching you this right now in this moment, you go, that's right. I need to do this better. I need to be more diagnostic and these questions, but then, we forget or we're like, well, how do I bring that up or how do I cross that bridge? And having that support is a good, these are great tools that will help support you with that skill set.
Okay. And that's right on your website?
TiffanySpeaks.com. So I have one that's called the Sales Mastery Kit, or if you want the full kit and caboodle, that's all of the business coaching, not just sales, I would consider Success Academy is a course as well that's there. But just come home to that. And again, the more that too, part of it, again, there's these layers, right? It's kind of like a layered cake, or it's kind of a mix, like it's a recipe where how you're navigating your own mindset and how for yourself, you're like, am I inspired? If we come back to your intention and attention and your frequency, are you still thrilled about doTERRA? And not that you have to be thrilled about it 24/7, but it's like a long-term relationship with someone where, yeah, there's moments you're bugged or you're off, but like you're proactively and actively nourishing and giving attention to, I want to have a really thriving marriage. I want to have a really thriving business, and it's like part of it is your energy. Part of it then is, of course, then so in some ways it's like, how am I showing up myself? On the flip side, it's also where we can't control anybody else. We can just control how we're showing up as leaders. And are we fostering, like I love what Cindy's talking about. We've been discussing spa sessions and hand massages and our favorite, nows and kitchen table oil chats and some discussions, things like that, but creating connection, whether in person, online, and the joy of it. But I would just say if we had to pick one, it's like, that's why it's like there's so many things and there are multiple layers. But I would say if you want to make the most impact with individuals to help them move the needle, to help them make a decision, is you want to have more what I call catalyst conversations. And that comes from asking better questions. And again, the products I've referred you to can help you go deeper on that. So it becomes more of a skill set that's just natural for you. But that is
Thank you
what we're
so
looking
much.
to do, right? It's like if someone feels really heard and understood by you or by any one of you, then they're going to have the capacity to influence that person and to make a bigger impact where it's like, oh, if you want them to move off the fence, if you want them to move forward, well, they're going to need to feel heard and understood. And also out of whose mouth? Their mouth. Because if it comes from their mouth, you'll hear me say these in either course. If it comes from their mouth, it's gospel, right? It's like their world, it's their ownership versus if you just tell them, well, you know what? doTERRA is the best opportunity and don't sleep on this and get involved and look how many people's lives it's changed and this and this. That's nice. But if you want me to move my own needle, you're going to need to get into my world. And that comes through questions and you asking me questions that influence me to really look at, again, I call these catalyst conversations where you're asking people about where they are, where they want to be, what's getting in their way, what else, what else, what else, where they're stuck, what the challenges are. Great. If you had help to work through those things and build that confidence. And are you willing to choose yourself and to choose your family and to choose your legacy? Are you willing to choose that? Even though, again, it's going to be hard. It's going to be challenging because most people, why are they not building a business? Because fear's up and challenges are up and their belief is up and, oh, it's harder than I thought it was going to be. Yeah. Welcome to the real world, like, but those challenges, and that way, if I can ask you those questions though, and meaning you're asking these folks in your world and on your team these questions, and they can see out of for themselves and out of their mouth, they talk about, here's where I am, here's where I want to be, here's what's getting in the way. I've been making this my issue for so way too long. This has been a challenge. Am I willing to change it? I'm ready to change it. Yes, I need to move forward, and doTERRA is a great vehicle to do that. But having the questions so it doesn't feel like you're trying to tell them, convince them, or that you're in conflict with them about it. You just become masterful at asking questions where they have a catalyst conversation, ultimately, truly with themselves of here's where I am, here's where I'm stuck, and I want to change that. But that's a skill. And that's a skill. So like my own closing rate, if I get on a phone call with someone, is around 50 to 60% on average, sometimes even as high as 70 to 80. But the reality is because that's a skill set that I've been developing and mastering and teaching for years. Well, same thing, the folks that I have a handful of folks that help me in sales. When they get on a phone call with someone, they have a very high closing rate as well, not because they're super over the top, quote, salesy or charming or like the perfect personality or perfect human design blueprint. No, they're reading from a script. They've memorized a script of a set of questions, which are in my courses, that help them lead the prospect to sell themselves. That's ultimate true selling, is when your team member, your prospect, the person sells themselves why they want the change versus you're not going to have to do any convincing, no strong arming, no let me like razzmatazz or try to, tough arm you into this. It's you asking questions where they look at for themselves, where they're at, where they want to be. So again, we could be here when I'm like, let me see, how could we put this into like a few minutes? But hopefully that helps. Does that help you at least get started or think about, here's some things, or what I really want to focus on is I'm going to have some conversations with these folks in my world and in my team to help them have some more clarity about where they want, what they want, where they want to be, what's getting in their way, and what they're willing to do to try to shift or change that.
Yes, that helps a lot. Thank you.
You're so welcome. Yes, and as Jennifer just said, and they must sell themselves or the change won't be sustainable. So true. I love your comments, you guys, in the chat box. You're speaking to me, Tiff. Thank you for being in my world. This is just what I needed. Thank you, Shelley. Thank you for this. I needed to hear this. So thank you, Jeannie, to asking this question. This is what I love about these open Q&A sessions when we come together and we share these things. Because sometimes you might be a little nervous. Like Jeannie, you might have felt a little, oh, do I raise my hand? Or Laura Ann or others of you, like, do I ask, Yes, because a lot of times some of you may not have even had this question going into this morning, but you're so grateful you were here because you got to hear some of these things modeled. So Jeannie, thank you for the courage. I love your name. I love your bright energy. And I just wishing you all the best as you keep practicing with joy. Oh, what fun, practicing some of these skills to help influence the people in your team and world that help them, but also will then help you, right? It's a win-win-win. Okay, friends, as we wrap up for another rich session, thanks for letting me hang out with the cool kids today on a Wednesday morning. Welcome to June. As we wrap up this session, I want to wrap where we started, which is coming home to you are a powerful creator. You are an intentional creator. Friends, remind yourself of the power of how do you want to share or move through the rest of this day to put your attention on that intention. What's your energy and frequency going to be? How do you want to show up? What do you want to create this day, this week, this month in your business, in your home, in your relationships, in your health, your vibrancy? Is coming home to that. Remind yourself of the lemon. Maybe you, when you're at the store today or later this week, you buy a couple of lemons or maybe even a piece of lemon artwork, right? Maybe I think I might do this for myself. I might buy a piece of lemon artwork and then I'm going to write something about the power of your thoughts. Because like many of you experienced today, just putting our thoughts for even a few seconds, many of you had a physiological reaction to simply a thought. We put an image in your mind, a thought in your mind, and it had life force move around it. You are a powerful creator. You're an intentional creator. Come home to intention. It's powerful for you to do that and to practice. Yes. Have a beautiful rest of your day. Thank you, Janelle, for joining me. Thank you, everyone, for being here. Happy June. Welcome to June. Welcome to summer. And I'll look forward to seeing you guys next month. See you guys soon. Thanks so much.